Welcome to Cabot. I'm Michael O'Keefe, president of the Museum Foundation. What a glorious day it is here today, Chamber of Commerce Day. And we are thrilled to have you here on this really momentous occasion. And on behalf of the entire board of directors, I want to welcome you to this great dedication. And really, we have a new monument here today. And I want to thank the board director who has organized all of this. And I'm going to turn it over to her right now. Please say hello to Judy Gigante.
Hi, everyone. Thanks very, very much for coming out. And Richard, thank you for taking time to stop in and say hello.
This is definitely the best kept secret in the Coachella Valley. And we are so proud that all of you came here today to honor our whispering giant and the artist behind the sculpture, Peter Toth. At this time, I have a proclamation. So now, Peter, if you'd come up, I would like to read the proclamation to you. Office of the Mayor, City of Desert Hot Springs, California proclamation. Whereas in 1974, Hungarian-born artist Peter Toth carved from the cliff at Wind and Sea Beach in La Jolla, California, a giant head to honor the plight of the American Indian. During a 21-year period, 1971 to 1992, Toth carved 67 giant Native American heads, at least one in each of the 50 states, plus several in Canada. Collectively, those are known as the Trail of the Whispering Giants. And whereas in 1978, Peter Toth created Waiokea as the 27th sculpture in Whispering Giants series. And whereas in 1977, Cole Erod, who was then vice mayor, as well as the curator of the Cabot Museum, saw the similarities between Toth's tribute to Native Americans, and Cabot Yerkes volunteered the museum to be the site for the statue. And whereas in the struggle of Native Americans for justice and recognition of their human rights, the statues represent all humanity and stand against injustice to all. And whereas our monument to the American Indian could never have been achieved without donations and community support, the donation of Peter Toth's time and talent, the donation of the land, of the tree, the transportation, and the generosity of the Desert Hot Springs community. And whereas in 2008, Waiokea, the only surviving whispering giant in California, reached the age of 30 years. And whereas the Trail of the Whispering Giants has been recognized by the Smithsonian Institute as a significant body of work by a living artist, now therefore, by the power vested in me as mayor of the City of Desert Hot Springs, and on behalf of the City Council and our entire community, I here proclaim February 17th, 2009, Peter Toth Day.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
When Peter Toth was a young boy, his family lived in a refugee camp in Yugoslavia. They were exiled from their Hungarian homeland and after the Soviet uprising. During this time, his father carved wooden toys for the family, and Peter was inspired by his father's work. When Peter was 11, his family came to the country, settling in Akron, Ohio. He read about the trials of the country's Native Americans and was moved by the parallels with his family's history. He said, "The Indians were made refugees in their own country, and because of my background, I felt a close identity to their suffering." In the early 1970s, as a young man of 20, Peter's dream was to pay tribute to these indigenous people and to raise our nation's awareness of their plight. Peter was determined to carve a statue in every state. And his life project, Trail of the Whispering Giants, began. Between 1972 and 1988, he completed 58 statues, carving at least one in each of our states. Our carving was done by Peter in 1978 and is the 27th in the series of the Whispering Giants. Cole Erod saw similarities between Peter's tribute to the Native Americans and Cabot Yerkes' commitment to the education of all people in regards to the culture of our Native Americans and to their plight, past and present. With the help of Cole, Herb Miller, who first met Peter and talked to him about the project, the Riverside County Fire Department, Landmark Conservators, Desert Hot Springs Chamber of Commerce, and the California Department of Forestry, the log arrived and the work began. Our carving was done from a 750-year-old sequoia, which came from the forest of Northern California. The tree was 200 feet tall when it fell in the mid-40s in a storm. Peter carved the face as it lay right here on the ground. Then it was raised by a crane to rest on the base. Scaffolding was put around the piece so that the statue's final features could be carved, and the feather was carved from a cedar tree in Idlewild. It took Peter 6 months to finish, and on May 1978, it was dedicated. Today is the day to pay respect to this artist, his beautiful carving, and to the spirit of his project, the Trail of the Whispering Giants. We do this through the resolution that Mayor Parks just presented, the plaque that we're going to dedicate, and most importantly, through the attendance of everyone here. For each of us will leave with an appreciation of this man's work and more complete understanding and appreciation for this man's mission, the message, respect, understanding, and appreciation for all mankind, particularly those who came before us, that we may appreciate their culture and learn from their history. At this time, I would like to unveil our new plaque with the Lakota Sioux name of Waiokye, meaning traditional helper. Cole named it after a Sioux because that's where Cabot was born, on a Sioux reservation. So at this time, I'd like to turn the mic over to Peter.
Thank you very much. You flatter me, Mayor, making this a Peter Wolf Toth Day. But in truth, it should be called Native American Day. Not because of me, because I'm just a tool to make these statues and to honor the Native Americans is my goal. And oftentimes when people come by and they see the statue, they tell me, boy, that's a nice looking statue. Of course, I'm flattered by that they would like my statue, but I tell them you're missing at least 90% of what you're looking at, because it's not just a nice statue, but rather it represents the Native Americans, and it honors, this statue in particular honors the Agua Caliente Indian people that live about the closest ones over here, but it also honors the Modoc and all the Native Americans. The Modoc Indians are from Northern California. So this statue, in a composite manner, honors all the Indian people of the state of California. And God gave me a gift to take up a hammer and chisel and chip away and create a statue, and I'm very pleased for that. But I hope that all of you will understand the true meaning of the statue instead of just think of it as a nice statue. I would like to give this mic to the person that should really be honored, the people that should be honored and need to be honored. That's the Native Americans. Richard.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mayor Parks, members of the City Council, members of the Cabot Executive Board, thank you very much for this opportunity to be here. I must say I've been remiss in not being here previously. I truly, truly am amazed and taken aback by what Mr. Cabot has constructed here and what he's left. And the people, such as yourself here, understand the importance of maintaining and going forward for the generations that are yet to come. It's important for all of us to understand the people, such as Mr. Cabot, such as Mr. Toth, what they are doing. Peter says that he was given the gift by God to be able to carve, but he's also given the gift of compassion to understand his fellow man, his fellow people. For all of us, as we go through life, reach certain pinnacles in our lifetime, and we have certain objectives to attain. Some of us, it's because we care about others, such as Peter's, such as Mr. Cabot, that take up what's known as the cause for Indian people. It's important, ladies and gentlemen, and as long as people such as Peter here keep going forward, that will ever remain in the consciousness, the open consciousness of everyone, which brings everyone to the same level of understanding. Peter, I very much appreciate this sculpture here. It is truly representative of Indian people across the country, in California, in Agua Caliente as well. Thank you very much, sir. You've done a marvelous, marvelous job. Thank you.